states away, a high that's going to rotate milder air. We may not get to 80 degrees around here, but there's likely that we'll see the 70s for the rest of the week. So as we wrap this up, tonight, clouds and light showers and nothing to do handstands over. The weather's not improving just yet, but tomorrow, 60 degrees, Linda, by the lakefront, 70 degrees in the suburbs, and we'll try to increase those numbers somewhat each day, but not very much. Normal for this time of year is the mid-70s at least, and we will not hit that mark at all week long. But the brighter side is that maybe clouds roll in on Friday, so after today we'll have about 3 or 4 days of good weather, at least to be outside in.
Thanks, Steve.
All right.
There's a lot more news to tell you about as News 2 Chicago continues at 5 o'clock today, including the Jesse Evans corruption trial. We'll hear the audio tapes that prosecutors claim prove the former alderman was on the take. Then the United Center basket rim that could have changed the outcome of last night's cliffhanger.
And later, why sheer is the latest style for women's clothing. The story in today's Female and Fabulous report on News 2 Chicago at 5 o'clock. We're glad you could stay with us this afternoon. I'm Lester Holt.
And I'm Linda McLennan. Our top story at 5 o'clock, an extraordinary chance to eavesdrop on what the FBI calls a corrupt payoff. For the first time, prosecutors in the Operation Silver Shovel investigation are releasing secretly recorded tapes of former Alderman Jesse Evans taking thousands of dollars in cash. Evans didn't know it, but the man making the payments was an undercover agent. Our political editor, Mike Flannery, joins us now with more. Mike.
Linda and Lester, these secret recordings that we're about to play for you were made by FBI agent Mark Sophia while he was posing as a crooked businessman and using the name Mark Deloniga. The feds claim that he and others were able to buy special favors from Alderman Evans. Listen to some of the tapes they've played for the jury. On trial, facing 16 counts of corruption, Alderman Evans insists he's done nothing wrong, other than perhaps failing to report to the government some cash payments that he claims were routine campaign contributions. Prosecutors, though, are trying to convince a jury that what was routine was the way Evans solicited and accepted bribes. This is how it sounded when Evans met the FBI's man on October 27th, 1994.
So that's a bundle of 1,000. Here's another bundle of 1,000, and here's $200 bills, 2,200. Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Jurors have watched Evans on secretly recorded FBI videotape accepting similar cash payments. But the alderman and his lawyer have filed an emergency appeal to the trial judge's order releasing the videotapes. They are no longer fighting release of these audio tapes, even though those tapes, too, provide dramatic insight into the way some people at City Hall do business on a cash-only basis.
There's the numbers. So the total is 2,600. Okay. And I put this in the envelope for you. So you are all set. Okay. Thank you, sir. So next Wednesday, that includes us through next Wednesday.
That was recorded November 11th, 1994. The alderman's lawyer argues that Evans believed at least some of the cash payments were perfectly innocent political contributions to the 21st Ward Political Fund run by Democratic Committeeman Evans. Prosecutors say they will prove that defense is false. Witnesses today testified about Evans' apparent double dealing on an application for a controversial liquor license in his South Side ward. Evans had told neighborhood activists that he was opposed to the packaged liquor store getting a license, but the man at City Hall in charge of such licenses, well, he says that Evans told him he favored it. Lester and Linda?
All right, Mike, thank you. Everyone's talking about it. The Bulls drive for 5. Game 1 of the NBA Finals was a heart-wrenching game that kept fans glued to the tube until the final second. You can't watch this enough. Michael Jordan's buzzer-beating shot that put the Bulls over the top, 84-82. As big as Michael Jordan's buzzer beater was last night, it would not have been a game winner had Karl Malone hit 2 free throws with the score tied and just 9 seconds left in the game. But it may not be the new MVP's fault. He choked with the game on the line. As Jeff Morrell reports, some of the Bulls players believe the rim on that basket may be the reason.
Maybe it was Scottie Pippen whispering, "The mailman doesn't deliver on Sunday," that caused Karl Malone to miss not one, but 2 clutch free throws in the closing seconds of Game 1. But then again, maybe it was the rim's fault. That's right, perhaps the rim is to blame.
It was giving us some strange bounces, and Phil decided to tighten it up after the Miami series, and so we're hoping that maybe that's why Karl missed those free throws.
Steve Kerr is only half joking. He believes the rim on the east side of the court has been looser lately because that's where the mascot, known as the Bull, practices his trampoline dunks.
In the last month of the season, the rim got real loose, and because of our mascot jumping off the trampoline and missing dunks and pulling the rim down.
The Bulls organization would not allow us to interview the Bull to get his or her take on the ruckus over the rim, but Michael Jordan was more than happy to weigh in on this new controversy.
People see throughout the playoffs that end was loosened, because of the Bulls dunking or missing dunking, whichever way you want to look at it. So they tightened it up, and that could have been a reason.
So what does the new MVP think about this ready-made excuse for choking last night? Tim Weigel put the question to him this afternoon.
Steve Kerr was not kidding. He said they actually tightened that rim. Did you notice that? And now that you know that, are you ticked off about that?
No, I'm not pissed off about it at all.
As you can see there, Malone is not looking for any excuse as to why he missed those free throws. And furthermore, Jordan says he wouldn't have one. Jordan points out that the only ones who should have noticed a difference on that side of the court are the Bulls. They're the ones who've been shooting it all season long, not the Utah Jazz or Karl Malone.
Scotty psyched him out.
I think so. Those whispers, I think, were what did it.
Thanks, Jeff. News 2 Chicago's own superfan has a different take on the game. Gene Siskel says the whole game can be summed up in 2 images that Bulls fans will never forget.
The story of Game 1 last night, Scottie Pippen's foot, out of one. Here's Jordan. And Michael Jordan's fist. Two body parts, one worthy of concern, even fear, the other worthy of respect, even awe. First, the foot.
Now he's dragging that leg a little bit. You see the grimace.
Complaints were made about the United Center crowd being too quiet last night.
The crowd here trying to make some noise, but really almost all you hear is the rattling and shaking of their jewelry.
But in my opinion, the folks in the United Center were quiet last night because they were scared for Game 1. Everyone was looking at the bottom of Scotty's left wheel. And how can you cheer when your heart's in your mouth? As for Michael Jordan's fist, what an eloquent statement. So different from his famous buzzer beater years ago against Cleveland, the shot, when he pumped his fist wildly.
End of game for the Chicago Bulls.
Last night, another buzzer beater, but the fist held still. The gesture of an older, wiser, more confident man. How's this for an idea? They ought to get a sculptor working on this image. Perfect for a Jordan statue for the west side of the United Center. The fist that erased fears of the foot. And for the north side of the United Center, how about a statue of Scotty's heavily wrapped foot and his very big heart? He's been wrapped in the past for not turning up big in big games, not after last night. Gene Siskel, the finals, Game 1, News 2 Chicago.
Thanks, Gene.
Still ahead today on News 2 Chicago, new reaction in our top story, the conviction of Timothy McVeigh in the Oklahoma City bombing trial.
Then violence once again touches the family of Malcolm X. Today, his widow is fighting for her life. Stay with us. You're watching News 2 Chicago with Lester Holt, Linda McLennan, Steve Baskerville, and Tim Weigel. This is News 2 Chicago. Look out. Summer's here, and you can make the most of it. Look incredible. Feel even better. Join Valley Total Fitness now. Get the most out of your summer for only $5 to start. It's our most popular offer, and it's never been easier to join than right now. Call 1-800-FITNESS. For only $5, you can look and feel your best. Getting the most out of summer never looks so good. Call Valley Total Fitness. Do it now.
When you consider all that goes into making the new Oldsmobile 88 irresistible, like its roomy 6-passenger interior, its many extras, its affordable $23,200 MSRP, and the fact that 88 is the only full-size car to earn Consumers Digest Best Buy Award an unprecedented 7 years in a row, we couldn't resist adding one more. Now, get $1,500 cash back.
If you're a homeowner wanting to reduce your monthly payments, call Superior Bank FSB now.
We saved over $200 a month I was able to save $400.
I was able to save $600 a month.
Even if your credit is less than perfect, Superior can help you cut down your number of payments.
We went from 8 payments down to 2.
It feels great. We paid off every loan we had outstanding.
I was able to go from making 6 payments a month to only making 1.
Call Superior Bank now at 1-888-678-7777.
Chicago's original submarine, Mr. Submarine.
For me on the go, or my family at home, I love Mr. Submarine.
Get a 6-inch turkey sub, Frito-Lay chips, and a 16-ounce RC Cola for only $2.99.
Satisfies my big appetite, and I can have a different sub every day.
Chicago's original submarine, Mr. Submarine.
We don't have sales. We have the best prices all the time.
And if anybody beats our price, we'll meet it and beat it. Guaranteed, no questions asked.
We're not in the business to be beaten.
Under no circumstances, we will not be undersold.
Never will the competition come in and beat us in price.
Because Home Depot wants you coming back, wants your friends to come back. They want you to be happy.
Conserve energy with the American Craftsman 5-foot insulated vinyl patio door. Just $299 every day at the Home Depot.
Recapping the day's big story, 29-year-old Timothy McVeigh has been convicted of blowing up the Oklahoma City Federal Building in 1995. It was a clean sweep for federal prosecutors. A jury in Denver found McVeigh guilty of all 11 counts of murder and conspiracy. The jurors deliberated for 23.5 hours over 4 days before reaching their verdicts. The jury will return Wednesday to decide if McVeigh should be executed for his crimes. Before the verdict, families of the victims arrived at a special auditorium in Oklahoma City to see the verdict broadcast live from Denver.
I'm shocked at how many persons I've talked to that don't want to just see him killed. They want him to suffer.
President Clinton says the verdict heralds a very important and long overdue day for the survivors and victims of the bombing.
Doctors say the widow of Malcolm X is hovering near death tonight with burns covering most of her body. On Sunday, fire ripped through the New York apartment of Betty Shabazz. Tonight, investigators say her grandson is to blame. CBS News reporter Liz Mullen joins us live from New York with the latest. Liz.
Well, Linda, just moments ago, her doctor called her condition catastrophic. Betty Shabazz remains in extremely critical condition in a Bronx hospital. Her family members and close friends have been at her bedside since she was found severely burned just outside her apartment on Sunday morning.
As Betty Shabazz fights for her life, suffering third-degree burns over 80% of her body, her friends fight to understand how her 12-year-old grandson Malcolm could be the cause of this latest tragedy to befall her.
Oh my God, not again. She was a heroine before, during, and we'll remember her. But let's not talk of that. We must talk of the ability of one to survive.
And Betty Shabazz has always been a survivor. After her husband, Malcolm X, was gunned down in 1965, Shabazz stayed active in the civil rights movement. Her daughter, Kabila, who as a 4-year-old watched her father die, has spent her life struggling with the aftermath of her father's death, accused just 2 years ago of plotting to kill Louis Farrakhan, whom some thought played a role in Malcolm X's killing. And now police say it is Kabila's son, Malcolm, who may have torched his grandmother's apartment.
Her 12-year-old grandson, her blood, Lord Jesus. Father God, that child needs prayer just as well, Father. And not only...
In Atlanta, a prayer vigil was held at the tomb of Martin Luther King Jr. for Betty Shabazz and her grandson. Wilbur Tatum has been a family friend for over 3 decades.
Betty is, in words of one syllable, in New York, a Lynch. She means so much to so many people, and each person you touch or scratch, that person has a Betty story.
And once again, Betty Shabazz in extremely critical condition this hour. Malcolm Shabazz, her grandson, remains in police custody. His mother, Kabila, will be here in New York for his arraignment, which is scheduled for tomorrow. Reporting live in New York, I'm Liz Mullen. Lester, Linda, back to you.
Okay, Liz, thank you. There's still a lot more ahead as we continue with News 2 Chicago this afternoon. Sheer is the latest trend in women's fashion in today's Female and Fabulous report. Here's a live picture of the downtown area from our John Hancock weather cam. How much more of this can we take? The cold, the wind, the rain. When will it end? We'll put it to Steve Baskerville coming up, and I think he's got some better news ahead.
And we have more of our coverage of the Bulls' victory last night. Tim Weigel joins us with a complete report. And then tonight at 6, new questions about the actions of a high-ranking manager at a Walgreens store. Pam Zeckman has an investigative report on News 2 Chicago at 6.
Something special coming up on the CBS Evening News here on News 2 Chicago. The mystery of El Nino. You know that Pacific warming causes bad weather. Did you know El Nino also carries a lesser-known threat? Later, after News 2 Chicago at 5.
This portion of today's news is brought to you by KitchenAid.
My home is chocolate cake, a secret recipe Grandma baked. My home is brand new wishes, heirloom dishes, where only the best is found. And KitchenAid's all around. My home is future, present, past, surrounded by lovely things that last. It's love, it's me, it's memories. KitchenAid, for the way it's made.
In 1993, you could drive a new Mercury Grand Marquis for under $20,000. Since then, we've made it more distinctive, more luxurious, more durable, even safer. But there's one thing we left well enough alone: the price. For a limited time, drive the legendary V8-powered Mercury Grand Marquis for a value-packed price under $20,000.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Imagine yourself in a Mercury now.
What's the matter, friend? Missing the game again? Stuck in the lot? Number 30,000 on the season ticket list?
Well, cheer up, friend. Oneida Bingo and Casino's giving away 60, I said 60 Green Bay season tickets for 8 1997 Green Bay home games. Play Green and Gold giveaway, June 2nd through July 11th. Register every weekday at Oneida Casino. 30 drawings, 30 pair of Green Bay season tickets, plus Fred and Reggie autographed footballs. Green and Gold giveaway at Oneida Bingo and Casino.
Surf the internet for only $9.95. With Meg's iNet, you get unlimited access and email for only $9.95 per month, with no hidden costs. Call the best internet service in Chicago, Meg's iNet.
Having trouble saving money? Then do what the Tripp family does. Carry the book, Mike's Market Share Coupon Book. You'll save thousands on things you use every day, like eyeglasses, oil changes, and clean, from companies you trust. But you can't save unless you carry the book.
Sheer is in for women's fashions this spring and summer. The soft, flowing look is a throwback to the 30s and 40s. Some of it actually looks like lingerie, but it's meant to be worn for the daytime or actually evening out on the town. Jodine Costanzo has more in today's Female and Fabulous report.
It's the look that was made popular decades ago, and now the retro-inspired sheer, sexy, flowing styles are the fashion statement of today. Look in just about any store, and what you find are very feminine skirts, dresses, and blouses. Part of their popularity, they offer an illusion. You're not seeing everything you think you see.
The sheerness is more of a hint of sheerness because oftentimes there's a nude body slip underneath, some sort of cover-up, so you're not actually seeing the skin. It's a hint of it, and it makes it a little more exciting.
The look is elegant. Some of the clothing looks like lacy lingerie, and most of the dresses are longer in length, below the knee and to the ankle. How do you accessorize these outfits? Because they're so soft, do you tone down the jewelry?
The look is very minimal and very clean. If you do wear jewelry, you're going to want a tiny ear, perhaps a small drop pendant. If you've got no sleeves, that'll be the time to accessorize with a bracelet.
On your feet, mules, slides, and strappy sandals go well with the clothing. But who can wear this look? It's youthful in appearance, but made for both younger and mature women. Some, though, shy away from it.
Because they would look terrible on me. Why? Because I'm relatively conservative in my attire.
But for others, bearing some skin adds to the appeal.
It does show just a little bit, and it leaves a lot to the imagination, so I like that.
Part of the season's iridescent look includes makeup. When wearing outfits like we just saw in this story, try using lighter shades of eyeshadow and blush. And on the lips, light pinks and clear gloss are recommended to complete that look. Linda Lester. Thanks, Jodine.
On this gray afternoon, we've got trouble on the roadways out in Hillside. Let's go to Chris Habermill in Chopper 2. What do you got, Chris?
And Lester, actually, we bounced out of Hillside over to Lombard, a brand new accident which just took place. A 2-block section of Main Street in Lombard is closed to allow authorities time and room to work on this car that rolled over onto its roof at Harrison and Main Street. The driver of that car, apparently the only individual inside there, was hurt. They have already been taken out of the car. They're inside the ambulance there, just beyond where the car is being uprighted. They're being treated there and stabilized before they're going to be taken to a local hospital. But drivers are rerouted around here. The whole section along Main Street is shut down, so Ardmore is the way to go if you have to travel through Lombard, at least for the next, 10-15 minutes or so until I get this out of here. Live over Lombard, I'm Chris Habermill, News 2 Chicago. Lester and Linda, back to you.
All right, Chris, we've all been talking about the shot, and Michael is going, which shot? There's been so many.
Well, Lester and Linda, when you create as many magical, miraculous moments as Michael has over the years, you do tend to lose count. Even Michael admitted as much today when asked to recall other moments in his surreal career that might compare with the magic he created last night.
I guess my most memorable shot, 1982, is easy. Cleveland is certainly easy. That's only two I can remember. I'm getting senile, I guess.
Senility was never so wonderful. Nobody in Chicago will soon forget what happened last night, but it is true a lot of us, including Michael's teammates, long ago began taking these kinds of momentous achievements for granted. Listen to Judd Buechler's reaction to Michael's latest miracle.
If it's Steve Kerr or anybody else, I'm tackling him, I'm taking him down, I'm dogpiling on him, and, I'm rubbing and giving him noogies over the top of his head. But Michael, you just kind of walk over and touch him and say, thank you, and walk off.
Well, Michael thanks Scottie Pippen a lot, too. Feared out for the game with a foot injury. Scott not only played, but he was magnificent. He led all players on both sides with 43 minutes played, had 27 points, and as usual, Michael extremely grateful.
We ham and egg it pretty good, and he certainly is a great compliment to me, as much as I try to compliment him.
So what about Scottie's left foot? Was there really any doubt he would play after suffering that soft tissue injury in Miami's game last week? Well, I talked to Scottie literally 60 minutes before tip-off. He said he would try to play, but didn't sound too confident. Well, how things changed as soon as the game started.
Scottie Pippen is a champion and a competitor, and barring a bone sticking out through his foot, I knew Scottie was going to play. You guys was the one that want to get the hype up, but I knew Scottie was going to play from the start.
I pretty much just decided as we run to the bench right before the induction. That was really my first time coming out and running and jumping and doing some active things on my foot, and it felt pretty good. It was sore. I felt some pain, but I felt like I could play through it.
So what about the rumors swirling around? The Bulls are trying to trade Scottie, possibly to the Sixers, for Jerry Stackhouse and a first-round draft choice. Well, rubbish, says Jerry Krause.
I'm not going to discuss any of our players until we are finished playing one way or another. So no names were discussed in that conversation. They did say they called me, and they did call me. That doesn't mean I discussed names with them.
Well, what about Phil Jackson? Rumors continue to swirl. The Bulls won't bring him back. Michael Jordan said today he would come back to the Bulls next year, even if Phil is not rehired. But once again, Michael voiced support for his coach's cause.
What value do you want to put on 5 championships, for a coach or for a player or for a sense of loyalty? That's something that Reinsdorf can only determine, and Phil, in terms of his asking price. I don't know what that is. I just hope they can come to an agreement.
Well, Phil's not going to Orlando because Chuck Daly just signed down there $15 million for 3 years. And speaking of that, most of the 1,500 media members at these finals have their own agendas, like the guy from, we assume, Florida, working a story on Chuck Daly getting that head coaching job with the Magic, and then trying to get this reaction from Karl Malone.
Your thoughts on Chuck Daly taking the job in Orlando and your experiences with him as a coach?
You think I really give a shit about who took the job in Orlando right now?
Yeah, I wouldn't think that that's too important to Karl Malone after he just lost the game, missed 2 free throws. Chuck who?
Where do these 1,500 media people come out of?
Isn't it amazing? They come from Bolivia, they come from Japan, they come from Cicero, they come from everywhere. It's amazing. 1,500 people were credentialed for these finals. It's really a zoo.
I bet.
But fun.
We'll be right back after this. Stay with us.
On the next Entertainment Tonight, Julia Roberts, Nicolas Cage, 2 of Hollywood's biggest stars on one big show to talk about their big summer blockbusters. It's Julia on My Best Friend's Wedding.
and Nick on Face Off, and both together only on ET. Then it's a shopping spree for a Melrose mom.
There's something changing at Melrose Place, and it's going to be Amanda's belly.
See how Heather's hiding her pregnancy on Melrose Place on Entertainment Tonight.
Tonight at 6:30 here on CBS 2 Chicago. This portion of today's news is brought to you by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
Low interest. Cash back. Low lease. You want a new car or minivan, and we want to sell you one. At Chrysler and Plymouth, we want what you want. Get low 3.9% interest for up to 60 months. That's right, 60 months. Or get up to $1,500 cash back. Or up to $2,000 in total values on Chrysler and Plymouth minivans. But only for a limited time, and only at Chrysler and Plymouth. Because we want what you want. It's that simple. See the stars of Chicagoland, your local Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
Here's great news. Jenny Craig is now offering a medical weight loss option that doesn't require a food purchase.
As a physician, I see a lot of people struggling to lose weight. Well, now I can help. Jenny Craig has a brand new medical option. After a full medical evaluation, if this program is right for you, you can get a prescription for the latest weight loss medications. And remember, there's no food purchase required. Call 1-800-97-JENNY. With the help of these new medications, Jenny Craig can change your life. So call 1-800-97-JENNY now.
Diamonds, the gift that lasts forever. The Jewelry Exchange in Elmhurst imports all their diamonds direct. They carry thousands of diamonds, most GIA or EGL certified, and all at guaranteed lowest prices. 1-carat solitaires start at $5.99. The Jewelry Exchange makes all their jewelry in their state-of-the-art factory and has hundreds of rings, pendants, earrings, and bracelets. Only the Jewelry Exchange in Elmhurst guarantees all their jewelry to appraise for at least double, that's right, double the purchase price. Buy factory direct and save. The Jewelry Exchange in Elmhurst.
Making time for the good things in life. At Land O'Lakes, we're doing it in a fresh new way. Introducing Perfect Timings, the fastest way to a fresh home-cooked dinner. With healthy portions of fresh vegetables, pasta or rice, and a fabulous sauce. Just add chicken and dinner's done. New Perfect Timings in your produce section. It's about time.
Steve is promising it's going to get better out there, but how soon, Steve?
I've worked on it already, Linda, and I'm hiding the fact that it's 60 degrees in LaGrange.
Where? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Not down
Hey,
here.
we're up to 61. Take a look.
Yeah, well, see that? 61 degrees now. When I last checked, it was 60, but maybe 62 at the warmest, and then the sun sets and forget it. But from LaGrange and the western and southwestern suburbs have all the heat now. The lakefront is still pretty cool. Look at that. Almost a quarter of an inch of rain has fallen in the last 24 hours. Dismal morning early this morning. But what's coming up? Two things are going to happen. The sun comes back tomorrow, but the cool weather lingers on. It's probably going to stay below normal for the rest of this week. One thing we have to get rid of is this spinning low, and it's just kind of circulating, stationary actually, but the winds are circulating all the way back toward Chicago, giving us very light rain around here, while the East Coast will have all the soggy weather. But until that low moves on and some brand new weather can take its place, we're stuck in the clouds, and more than likely that won't happen until another at least 12 hours or so, because this one is a very slow mover. You can see all the rain kind of spinning back from Pittsburgh all the way over to where we live. Now that will move on, and taking its place will be some of this weather in Missouri and Iowa and the plains. It's in the 70s, but at least it's warmer than what we've got around here, and that's coming as soon as tomorrow afternoon. So as we wrap this up and move on, the start of the week isn't a good one, but it's tolerable. Clouds and no heavy rain later on tonight. It'll be light showers in spots. But the rain's always a big deal if it's your spot where the rain is falling, right? I try to make that seem like that's not a big deal. A little sunshine, cool northeast winds will take over tomorrow. The lakefront, 60 degrees. Everywhere else, about 70 or so. 75 degrees at least should be the high in the afternoons, first week of June. That's not going to happen this week. But last June 4th, it was about as cool and dismal as it is right now. I just thought I'd mention that.
Feel better.
Just thought it's not that far away from normal.
Leaves will be turning soon.
Thanks for making us your choice for news at 4:30 and 5. We'll see you later at 6 and 10.
CBS News is next. Take care.
It's a special moment. So don't take chances. Take your film to Osco, where special moments get special care. We correct for color, contrast, and exposure. So what you get back may be even better than what you brought in. Plus, with every set of 4x6 jumbo prints, you get a second set free. And with every set of 5x7 big shot prints, You get a second set free, only at Osco.
What's hot at your favorite Ford dealer? And now get $1,000 to $2,000 cash back or financing as low as 1.9% during performance days. Now that's hot. But hurry, you gotta move.
They come from Los Angeles and London, Paris, San Francisco, and Santiago. And though they come from different cultures and continents, they come for the same reason in exactly the same way. On American Airlines to do business in Chicago. They arrive hundreds of times a day to negotiate deals and celebrate them, build, create, and invest in Chicago. And every day, American Airlines is the international symbol for service in Chicago. And it's the kind of service you can expect from the airline that flies to 95 key business destinations and the most non-stops to Europe from O'Hare. 4 continents, 43 countries, 260 cities, the world. Proudly brought to you by the airline that means business in Chicago, American Airlines.
Here's to Jose Luis Ovalle, who teaches Chicago's Mexican-American children about their heritage through historic dances.
Here's to Doc Hamberlin from DuSable High School, who turned his classroom into a zoo to motivate his students to learn biology.
Here's to Dieter McWilliams for spending 30 years of his time making clocks for U.S. facilities around the world.
Here's to all the people who make Chicago so great.
You know, it's a little-known fact that you can shake a can of baked beans and hear how good they taste. Leading brand. New Van Camp's old-fashioned baked beans. Oh, substantially quieter due to your thick sauce. Made with rich molasses and real smokehouse bacon. Yeah, I love that old-fashioned taste. Not that I'm old-fashioned. I mean, I'm hip. I'm happy. New Van Camp's old-fashioned baked beans. Shake them, hear how good they taste.
News 2 Chicago with Lester, Linda, Steve, and Tim tonight at 6.
The jury says Tim McVeigh did it. He is found guilty on all counts in the Oklahoma City bombing murders, a verdict the people of Oklahoma City were waiting and hoping for. McVeigh could now get the death penalty.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting tonight from Denver.